That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Infinite Storm, the 10th narrative feature directed by Małgorzata Szumowska, which is being released courtesy of Bleecker Street on March 25th, 2022.
Do I know this director's other movies?
No, but I do quite like her. This is her second film in English. However, I didn't like her English language debut, which was The Other Lamb, kind of a cult melodrama from 2019. But almost everything else, I really liked of her. She did a great film called In the Name Of in 2013 about this gay priest. She's Polish, so all of her other films have been set there. 2015, a great film called Body that I really liked. Mug in 2018. Her last film also has kind of a winter flavored title called Never Gonna Snow Again, which played in Venice. But yes, for the most part, I almost always like her films. She's been very busy. Over the past 7 years, she's filmed 6 movies and done some television and some short film work. Served on the Berlinale jury in 2016. So she's a mover and a shaker.
The basic story for this film, Naomi Watts plays a character named...
A woman, a real life woman.
Oh, this is based on a true story.
Yeah. Named Pam Bales.
So Naomi Watts, her character is a nurse who we find out recently lost her daughters to a freak accident. There was a gas leak in their apartment building and her 2 young daughters died. So to deal with the grief, it would seem, she has taken on rock climbing. Mm-hmm. And there's a particular mountain range she likes to climb. So one day she goes climbing.
It's called Mount Washington in New Hampshire.
Okay. So she goes climbing and there's a pretty bad snowstorm. Mm-hmm. She gets caught out there. And on her way back down to her car, she spots a man who is out in the elements, seemingly not trying to find refuge, like maybe he wants to die. So she takes it upon herself to help this man, and she does. She gets him back down to the car.
And the bulk of the film is that. Like, this is a strenuous blizzard they're caught in.
And this man, when they get in the car, this man steals her car and leaves her there. But thankfully, she's not too far from where she lives, and she's dressed properly. So she's able to get back home. The next morning, she gets up and she gets a phone call from a friend who says, "Girl, have you seen the news? That man who stole her car apparently attempted to return the car, and then of course had to explain how he got the car, told the story of this nurse, and now she's gone viral basically, right?
Locally. Yeah.
Like it's all over the news that this woman helped save this man's life. So a reporter organizes a meeting between the two. And then the end of the film is the two talking about their lives and the man explaining that he was out there because he did want to die. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
And she opens up about herself and what happened to her. And basically we're left with he was kind of the reason which made her want to live again after this trauma that happened to her. And I think it's the last line of the film where she's telling him, the whole universe appears as an infinite storm of beauty.
What did you think about this movie?
Initially, it feels like, oh, this is something I've seen before. It felt, on the surface, it might seem like Wild, starring Reese Witherspoon and, Everest, or something like that. Mankind, womankind against the elements. But it's very pared down, surprisingly, and it just seems to be getting to the point. And of course, there are some odd, clunky moments. Denis O'Hare is used very infrequently, but he owns this restaurant, tavern that Naomi Watts stops in on her way to climb the summit. On this fateful day, and he's like, "Oh, there's a blizzard. You shouldn't go up there." And she's like, "You know what day it is." And so it's like, okay, we know how this is gonna go. It's the first produced screenplay by somebody named Josh Rollins, who's I believe been a character actor in several films, and I was struck by usually these films where we have the protagonist alone on screen, they have them talking to the wilderness or inanimate objects, like Zac Efron in Gold recently, and there's not a lot of that. And even Naomi Watts herself was in a film called Penguin Bloom, where she's got to talk to this crippled bird for and I'm glad that it kind of gets away from that. There is a lot of frustration because this man is clearly trying to sabotage her helping him on the way down this mountain. But there are some moments of levity between them, and we get the briefest of flashbacks with Naomi Watts, and I think it's used quite well. So again, it's a very familiar film, and I wouldn't say it's a film about the life of Pam Bales as I've read that it was described. It's more like a moment in the life of this one woman that was particularly pertinent to her getting over trauma. But overall, I liked it. Billy Howle is the name of the man playing John. She never learns his real name. He won't speak, so she's calling him John. And even when they meet in the end, she says, "I don't know what to call you," and he says, "John's fine." It's interesting. It was shot in Slovenia. It's beautiful to look at. Probably more beautiful than New Hampshire is, I think. But maybe I'm speaking out of turn because I guess I don't know. It was shot by her usual DP, Michał Englert.
There are going to be comments from people in New England saying that.
In the dead of winter in a blizzard with the dark, gloomy skies. Not New Hampshire in the fall where we all know the leaves look beautiful when they turn, blah, blah, blah. It's just a very stark, gloomy film. So maybe New Hampshire should be happy that they're not prized for that. Anyway, overall I was impressed with it, especially considering we just saw a film with Naomi Watts in the woods that I thought was quite risible.
I saw that?
You didn't see it, but The Desperate Hour, which just came out a couple weeks ago, directed by Philip Noyce. It used to be called Lakewood when I saw it. It's where she's running in the woods and she receives a call saying, basically her son is like shooting up the school.
Oh.
And she's got to race back, but she injures herself, so she's stuck in the woods ostensibly for the whole thing. So this is the preferable Naomi Watts in the woods film. But yeah, I like Szumowska. I do like Naomi Watts, and I think this does great service to them both.
What would you give it?
3 out of 5.
All done? Mm-hmm. Bye.